Earlier this season, Thunder players participated in games at the Miracle League of Mercer County. The Miracle League is a nonprofit organization created for and dedicated to providing individuals with disabilities the opportunity to participate in an organized baseball league that celebrates their spirit in a non-competitive atmosphere. At this time, the Thunder welcome Miracle League players to the field. Let's meet these great athletes.
All righty, guys. We got King Kong, Connor Doyle. We got Queen Victoria, Victoria Oliver. We got Damien D. Mac Truck. We got the J Train, Jonathan Supoy. We got the Jack Attack, Jackson Wharton. We got the poster child of Miracle League, Nico Palomeri. We got the Jack is back and better than ever, Jack. We got Batman, Seven Clark. We got Mr. Finley, Christian. We got Tinner, Tin Man, Milliman. We got Thunder, Thomas Vilos. We got the Avinator, reigning Rookie of the Year, Ava Fleming. We got Harrison, the Millennium Ford Falcon. We got Charlie, the CEO of Mott's Applesauce, Charlie Mott. We got the King himself, Jordan King. We got the Captain, Bethany Arnold. My favorite last name of all time, Alexis. We got Joseph, Chocolate Cake Wood, because I got you. We got the Locomotive, Logan Robinson. We got James King Gavig. We got MJ, Michael Giannetti. We got the Zach Attack, Zach Rizzito. We got my co-anchor, Azalea Farkas. We got the L Train, Lauren Russo. We got Will I Am, William Costanzo. We got Mr. Pretzelman himself, Brandon Harris. We got Chewbacca himself, Dominic Wood. We got Luke, I'm your father, Lucas Wood. We got Troy, Josh Jaworski. We got Colton, Hercules Thibodeau. We got the V Train, Vadon Nadu. We got Billy, Lightning McQueen Olivero. We got Callie, Cool Shades there. We got the Mary Poppins of Miracle League, Amelia Johns. We got Robert the Tank Hertzy. We got Freezeman, Justin Mazenko. We got the Devinator, Devin Pariski. We got lucky number 6, Marissa Regimente. We got the Wolverine, Logan Mesger. And we got Andrew the Flash Barrett. We got Sweet Lou, Louis Palares. We got All About the Benjamins, Morgan Benjamin. We got Mr. Airplane himself, Josh Picardo. We got Sierra CC, Brickwall Mason. We got All Rise for number 99, Jared Kane. And last but not least, the Mother of Dragons, Abby Genslinger. Thank you guys, and thank you, Thunder, for all you do. We appreciate you guys so much, what you do for the Miracle League.
And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the Thunder would like to help the Miracle League of Mercer County recognize a very special member of their senior volunteer committee, Amanda Bendorf. Since 2015, Amanda Bendorf has been a vital member of the Miracle League of Mercer County Senior Volunteer Committee. Amanda serves as coordinator of volunteer engagement, helping assure each Miracle League player has a buddy. Amanda currently works for the Mercer County Special Services School District and has also run the Special Kids Organized Recreation Summer Camp at the Hamilton Area YMCA at Sawmill. In honor of Amanda's hard work and dedication to her players and families, the Miracle League of Mercer County Board of Directors would like to recognize Amanda Bendorf as the 2019 Volunteer of the Year.
Today's Thunder Field of Dreams team is the Ewing Little League.
Please remain standing, remove your caps. Veterans, please salute and welcome the Brookwood, Keystone, and Mill Creek Elementary Schools combined choirs as they honor America with the performance of our national anthem.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous Welcome, everybody, to Thursday Night Thunder. Tonight, the Trenton Thunder start their defense of the 2019 Eastern League Championship Series. We're here at Crystal Falls Stadium on MLB The Show. The home field for the Trenton Thunder is Arm & Hammer Park. I'm John Mozes. Joe Weil is with us here for the first couple innings here tonight. We'll have visitors from former Thunders, including Gosuke Katoh, James Reeves, we'll have Kellin Deglan, who's the Eastern League postseason MVP, as well as Dan Sczweck from the Miracle League of Mercer County. Thunder and Harrisburg Senators opening up the season here tonight. And Joe, a big-time prospect on the mound in the Yankees minor league system, Deivi Garcia gets the start for the virtual Thunder.
Yeah, how about that? Deivi Garcia had a great season last year, Sirius XM All-Star Futures Game star, and throwing the first pitch, getting the season underway.
Garcia was about as good as it gets in his time in Trenton last year. Came up at the end of May and just started racking up incredible pitching performance after pitching performance. Matched the franchise record with a 15 strikeout game in the game that helped Trenton clinch the first half title last year over Richmond with a victory on the final day of the first half. His next offering is low, to count 2 balls and 1 strike.
The thing that amazes me is just the strikeout numbers. He pitched for 3 different affiliates, Tampa, Trenton, and then Scranton Wilkes-Barre, 165 strikeouts and 111 in the third innings. That's just staggering.
The next offering is tapped foul, and Garcia, it's a really interesting 4-pitch mix. It's a good fastball in the mid-90s. It's a really good curveball, and the slider came a long way last year and really gave him a third weapon to go with what is also an excellent changeup. And we see Garcia ring up his first strikeout of the season as he gets the leadoff man looking. Filthy hook.
Perfect placement, low and away in the strike zone. Maybe got a little bit of the benefit of the doubt there from the home plate umpire, but still a great pitch.
Garcia's first offering is outside. I mean, this really is sort of fun to watch Deivi Garcia do his work. I mean, it's, as we talked about, some elite stuff. And more than anything else, I think his age is something that is notable because he's one of the younger players for the level.
And the fact that he could pitch as well as he did at that level just shows you how advanced of a prospect he truly is. And the fact that he actually finished the season at a higher level, too. I mean, it's unbelievable what this young guy's done, and a guy that could be in the big leagues very, very soon.
Yasel Antuna is the batter. Designated hitter for Harrisburg. He fouls that one away. And, some fans might be asking, what is Deivi Garcia doing on the AA roster? And, there are a lot of really quality right-handed arms at the top of the Yankees minor league system. Guys like Jonathan Loaisaga and Michael King may end up pushing somebody like Garcia down to AA to start the season, as Deivi is now back in the count at 2-2.
And if you think about the arms that could be in AA to start the season, especially if Deivi's somehow there, but also Clark Schmidt, I mean, they could have a really good rotation.
And it was the strong starting pitching that led Trenton to that Eastern League championship last year. Seemingly every day, the Thunder were rolling out another guy who would be seen as one of the better arms in the league. A 3-2 pitch is swung on and bounced back toward the middle. That's Kyle Holder behind the bag at second, and one of the top defensive shortstops in all of minor league baseball takes care of the second out. A lot of familiar names across the defense for Trenton tonight. Ben Ruda's in left field, Estevan Florial in center field, Trey Amberby the start in right field. He's a 2-time Eastern League All-Star. Drew Mendoza, the batter. He lifts the first one foul down the right field line. On the infield, Max Burt at third base, as you heard Kyle Holder at short. Hoyt Park at second, Brandon Wagner at first, and Francisco Diaz catching the right-hander Garcia. Pitch to Mendoza, a wild swing and a miss. And those are the type of swings that Garcia will bring as pitchers or as hitters stand and wait for the fastball, and then they get the off speed. Another off speed, and this one's grounded back through the middle under the glove of the second baseman. A base hit to center field by Drew Mendoza.
That's the one pitch that's been anything close to a mistake so far in this first inning. Just an off-speed pitch away that Mendoza just went up the middle with, and Hoyjun Park almost got there, but just a little bit too much velocity on the hit.
KJ Harrison, the next batter for the Harrisburg Senators, Washington Nationals AA affiliate. As Garcia's first curveball is in the dirt. Garcia ready, puts his leg and delivers again, and there's a big swing and a miss. Boy, you throw that changeup in a 1-0 count, and a lot of guys just aren't ready for it.
Yeah, pitching ninja should find a way to get a hold of this game so he could have seen that pitch.
Next offering is swung on and lifted foul down the left field line with home run distance. I would like to see pitching ninja start to break down some of the best curveballs thrown in MLB The Show. As Garcia rings up Harrison with the curveball, and the top of the first inning comes to an end. A couple of strikeouts around a single as the Thunder take the plate. Coming up next. Thursday Night Thunder continues as the Harrisburg Senators start left-hander Tim Cate to meet the starting lineup for the Thunder. Really no surprises amongst this group. Esteban Florial in center field, Hoyt Park behind him at second base. Chris Gittens, the reigning Eastern League most valuable player, is the designated hitter batting third, followed by Brandon Wagner, Ben Ruda, Francisco Diaz, and Trey Ambergy, Kyle Holder, and Max Berg. Florial, seen as one of the top prospects amongst position players in the Yankees minor league system. Briefly with the Thunder back in the postseason in 2017. Played in 2 games, but a couple of wrist injuries have slowed the development for Florial. He hasn't played in a regular season game for the Thunder. He swings at the 0-1 and pops it up. The shortstop, Royce Lewis, there to make the catch. Florial, a player that has some excellent tools, can really run, has some tremendous raw power, but it's a matter of sort of that development of plate discipline, which, Joe, is something that you got to observe in your time in Winston-Salem, where you've been the last couple of years, and you see players start to figure it out in terms of identifying pitches in the right counts.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, as you get higher and higher toward the big league level, it's obviously something that you need to master in some way, in terms of just making sure you have some form of an approach to try to get to the big leagues. And Florial is a guy that the Yankees are obviously high on, and prospect evaluators are certainly high on as well. And you just hope he can stay healthy and put it together consistently for a full year. There's obviously been flashes, and that's why people are so high on him. But you hope a season like this is when he can start to put it all together.
Hoyt Park, the next batter for the Thunder. Park with Trenton for just about the entire season last year. Joined the team on the opening road trip out in Akron and settled in as the everyday second baseman, but he is down on strikes quickly. And they're 2 away here in the first inning.
How about the pace of play in this game right now? Quick.
Well, I've always thought to myself that it's major league games that are the problem when it comes to pace of play, as Chris Gittens is first pitch swinging and grounds out to the third baseman. And the first inning comes to an end. Thursday Night Thunder continues next from Arm & Hammer Park. Second inning between Trenton and Harrisburg. Davey Garcia back to the mound. His first offering is high. I'm picking up on that thought that you were talking about, Joe, toward the end of that first inning. I mean, the pace of play when it comes to minor league games is generally viable and, not really a huge issue in the long run. It's funny, when I remember back in 2015 when the pitch clock was installed for the first time, spoke to hitting coach PJ Piliteri, who is now the assistant hitting coach for the Yankees, and PJ was the one who made the point to my broadcast partner at the time, Adam Giardino, and I, and he said, when it comes to pace of play, like you're testing the wrong market. Like minor league games are not the issue when it comes to pace of play, but it's the major league game that is really an issue at the end of the day.
Well, you think about all the pitching changes that they make at the big league level to try to play matchups and get everything right, and obviously with the new rule installed, the 3-batter minimum, that's something that they're hoping will speed things up.
Pitch is grounded foul to count 3 balls and 2 strikes on Yadiel Hernandez, the hitter for Harrisburg. Another one fouled away. And yeah, I think I'm of the same opinion that, there's so much strategy within pitches and within at-bats of close games at the big league level that, it's those constant visits to the mound, batter stepping out of the box that, actually seems to affect pace of play more than anything else, as the Senators have a leadoff base runner here in the second. Catcher Taylor Gushu is next. Previously a Harrisburg Senator, but one of the top catching prospects in the Nationals minor league system.
And a former Florida Gator as well.
Gushu swings at the next offering. Lifts it to shallow center. L'Oreal lines it up and makes the catch for the first out. Who are some of the most famous Florida Gators that you think of when you think of Florida Gators?
Well, when you think of Florida Gators now, you think of Pete Alonso, who is one of baseball's biggest stars. A guy that played, obviously, in the Eastern League with Binghamton at one point, but he was a guy that mashed with Florida and somehow fell to being a second-round pick.
That ball is high off the wall in right center field. A double off the bat of Royce Lewis, and the Senators in business here in the second inning. I am a little glad, Joe, that you didn't say the first Florida Gator that came to mind was Tim Tebow.
Who unfortunately may be one of minor league baseball's biggest stars. But, it's actually, I was also thinking, I was surprised at myself. I didn't see a pitcher because Florida just churns out so many good arms. Think back to that 2016 first-round class that had so many great players in it.
Fly ball down the left field line is caught by Ben Ruda in fair territory, but not deep enough for either run to score. 2 away here in the second.
And then even some great arms now in the Royals system that they pick so many guys, Jackson Kowar, Brady Singer. But Pete Alonso, I think he's the biggest star right now that you could say that's former Florida Gator.
There's a liner caught by the third baseman Burt, and Davey Garcia dances out of some trouble in the second inning, stranding a pair in scoring position. Head to the bottom of the second here on Thursday Night Thunder. Home half of the second inning. Tim Cate back to the mound for the Harrisburg Senators. His first offering is in the dirt for ball 1. It is Brandon Wagner leading off this inning. He is a Mercer County native. Left-hand batter awaits Cate, and the delivery home is a breaking ball strike. Wagner spending just about the full season with Trenton last year, briefly up in AAA for the Rail Riders' push into the postseason, and the return to the Thunder for the championship series. Count now 2 balls and 1 strike on Wagner.
How about the job MLB The Show did on Arm & Hammer Park? Also the crowd, very lively in this game, as is usually the case.
And I will note, the crowd is appropriately dressed. Everybody's wearing long sleeves. The pregame temperature has 44 degrees. A 2-2 offering to Wagner is low for ball 3.
That's early April in New Jersey for you, but you're absolutely right. Everybody's dressed up, properly warmed for a night like this.
And the payoff pitch. Wagner swings and drives it deep right center field, and it is caught in deep right. Boy, Wagner gave it a ride, but just missed it. Boy, what a beautiful setting, isn't it?
It's gorgeous. And again, what a great job done by the people in charge of making this game.
And I will say that the batting stances are actually pretty close. That looked like what Brandon Wagner was standing at the plate with for much of the year. And this definitely looks like what Ben Ruda has at the plate. A 1-0 offering to Ruda. It's fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ruda, another Mercer County native. He went to West Windsor Plainsboro South High School, an Eastern League champion with the Thunder a season ago. Behind in the count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You have to think about how cool this is for minor league players, that they can play as themselves in a game like this.
Well, Ben Ruda actually had the opportunity to play on the field at Arm & Hammer Park as a high schooler for the Mercer County Tournament Championship. Played there a handful of times. First reached the Thunder beginning of the 2018 campaign. Lifts this one to left field. Charging in Hernandez, and the left fielder able to make the catch on one bounce. So it's a base hit for the Thunder here in the bottom of the second.
And there it is, the first official hit of the 2020 season for the Trenton Thunder. A little bloop single to left field by Ben Ruda. Try to get a rally going here in the second inning.
Here's Francisco Diaz, veteran catcher. Takes the first offering in there for a strike. Certainly some familiar faces behind the plate at the top of the Yankees minor league system. Eric Kratz is back in AAA as Diaz swings and bounces one foul. Thunder had Francisco Diaz and Jorge Saez at the beginning of the season last year, but Diaz's season ended early because of a shoulder injury, and Kellin Deglan ended up being just about the everyday catcher as Diaz swings and grounds one fair down the third base line. Terrific stop. A double play turned by the Senators. Oh, my. Outstanding stuff by Harrisburg. And Trenton's second inning comes to an end. Scoreless, we head to the third. Thursday Night Thunder continues next.
All right, fans, now it's time for the Arm & Hammer Spin Brush Dizzy Bat Race.
Hey Thunder fans, I'm here on the third base side for the Arm & Hammer Spin Brush Dizzy Bat Race. I have with me Coach Earl and Coach Jimmy. These guys are going to put their foreheads on the bats. The bats have to stay on the ground. They're going to spin around, get nice and dizzy, and then race through our Arm & Hammer banner. All right, guys, foreheads on the bats. On your mark, get set, spin! Thunder fans, cheer loud for these guys. The louder you cheer, the faster they spin. Coach Jimmy's losing his shoes. On your mark, get set, go! Coach Earl is off first, and there goes Coach Jimmy, but Earl does it. He dives across the finish line first. Congratulations, you are the Arm & Hammer Spin Brush Dizzy Bat Race winner.
Remember, fans, don't just brush, spin brush by Arm & Hammer.
Thursday Night Thunder is back. It's the top half of the third inning, a scoreless game between Harrisburg and Trenton. Davey Garcia back to the mound. His first offering is low for ball one. Joining us here for the third and fourth inning is Gosuke Katoh, a member of the Thunder for the entire 2018 campaign at Arm & Hammer Park. Gosuke, it's great to have you here on opening night as the next offering is swung on and lined down the left field line. A diving attempt by Ruda. Oh, it gets by him and rolls all the way to the wall. Headed for third, and getting there safely is the Harrisburg Senators' leadoff man here in the third inning. Gosuke, not exactly the way Trenton was hoping to start this inning defensively.
Not exactly what you want right there, John, but, it looks like right there he's really just trying to socially distance himself from the ball. And as he goes to the fence right here, just the run is shame, but, the good relay throw in, it's just, he'll be thinking about that play for a couple innings.
Well, you've got a little bit of outfield experience in your time in the Yankees minor league system and, this upcoming year with the Marlins. It is not an easy position to play, particularly if you've played somewhere else in your career.
Yeah, right. It's not easy, but, I don't really see myself making that play out there. I'll just make myself at home, just taking off the bounce.
Ground ball to second. Hoyt Park takes care of the out, but a run comes across, and the first run here in 2020 is scored by the Harrisburg Senators. They've got a 1-0 lead here in the third. Well, Davey Garcia, one of the best arms in the Yankees minor league system, has his next offering fouled away. And, Gosuke, you've had a chance to play behind Davey and certainly see him in spring training games, intra-squad, etc. What makes Davey Garcia so tough for opposing hitters?
I think the one thing that really stands out is all of his stuff is just electric. And his four-seam fastball has a lot of life to it. He'll throw that slider down in the dirt, and a lot of guys will just swing right over it, as you see right there. But it's just all this stuff is just electric, and it seems like he just keeps the hitters off balance at all times.
Next offering is swung on and grounded to third. Backhand stop by Max Burt. Third baseman tosses it across the diamond for out number 2. Really fine glove work there for Max Burt, a young player. The next offering from Garcia is in there for a strike. So, I'm curious, Gosuke, you've played a lot of second base in your career, but you've also played some shortstop, also played some third, occasionally at first base. In terms of a difference between second base and third base, what's sort of a tough adjustment that you have to make when you play third base?
I think it's all about the speed of the ball and the speed of the runner and the angle, really. The angle at the ball, which the ball comes to you at. Playing second base my whole life, it was a pretty hard transition to go from the right side of the infield to the left side. And especially since you got to really time up the ball and then make sure you get your momentum going towards first base.
Here's a drive out toward right center field. That one is trouble, and it is down in the alley, potentially for extra bases for the Senators. The right fielder Ambergy is up with it, tosses it back toward the infield, and holds Senators to a 2-out double. It's just a really good-looking swing there to the opposite field, huh?
Yeah, that was good. Good double right there by KJ Harrison, going the opposite way on a 2-strike curveball right there.
Here's Yadiel Hernandez, left-hand batter, takes a curveball in for a strike. Now, earlier, Gosuke, you mentioned sort of some of the social distancing, and that obviously is something that we're hearing a lot about, and hopefully we're all taking part in these days. How did you have to spend your time? Did you have a quarantine section of time at the end of spring training before you could travel back to California?
Yeah, so once the Marlins told everyone to go home around mid-March, I basically just flew right home to San Diego, stayed home for about 10 to 12 days, self-quarantined, made sure I was healthy, and I'm still trying to stay away from people, at least 6 feet away. But just trying to stay healthy, making sure my swing's right, making sure I'm ready for whenever the phone call comes for us to come back.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch from Garcia is swung on and missed for strike 3. One of the best strikeout men in the Yankees minor league system picks up another in the third, but the Senators have a run. We head to the bottom of the third after this on Thursday Night Thunder, presented by Arm & Hammer. Bottom half of the third inning on Thursday Night Thunder, as the first offering is taken high for ball 1. And, Gosuke, we were talking about some of the, sort of what you had to do toward the end of spring training. And, but I'm curious, how have you filled your time when you're taking those 2 weeks by yourself, quarantining at home?
It's all about just like staying ready, and then I'm working out at home a lot, hitting at home, and spending time with my parents. But a good portion of my time goes to playing video games with all the friends. So I think that's what a lot of minor leaguers are doing. So I'm kind of jumping on that train.
Well, so which video games are taking up a lot of your time? Are you playing as Gosuke Katoh in MLB The Show these days?
I still need to get this game, and watching this game makes me want to play it.
A 3-1 pitch, swung on and slashed foul down the first base line for strike 2. Kyle Holder in the on-deck circle for the Thunder. This next offering is swung on and missed at a breaking ball in the dirt. And there's one away here in the third inning. So which games have you been playing these days, Gosuke?
It's I play a lot of shooters. I was playing Fortnite a lot, but there's a new Call of Duty that came out, and I've been kind of grinding that a little bit. It's really hard and challenging, and I'm not very good at it, so I'm trying to get better.
Who is the best Fortnite player that you have played against or played with?
It's got to be by far Jeff Hendricks. He was with the Thunder last year, and he has notoriously been the best video game player in the Yankees organization for a pretty long time.
Interesting, and I am very interested to see Jeff holding a video game controller. I'm curious what that looks like with those forearms.
Yes, those forearms really complement will complement his controller.
Ground ball to the left side of the infield. Fielded by the shortstop Lewis, but not in time at first base. Well done by Holder to beat out the infield single. Just a beautiful night here at Arm & Hammer Park. You see the sun setting as now Max Burt stands in the box for Trenton. The pitch from the left-hander is low for ball one.
Hey, no, John, I got a question though. Where's Rookie? Where's Rookie in this game? They need to bring in bat dogs.
Oh, that is a very good point, Gosuke. That would be a huge upgrade for MLB The Show if they had bat dogs. I'll be sure to pass that along.
Speaking of Rookie, how's the new guy Dash doing?
Oh, Dash is doing very well. You may have seen on our social media, he was at the Greenleaf Pet Resort recently, and News 12's Robin Dean went and visited him and saw him getting in some of the first bat dog training that he's going to go through, and he's still very young. He was born in December, so Dash is great, but still not quite big enough to really carry a bat.
The training starts early, doesn't it?
Well, when did you start training for baseball, my friend?
Well, I was definitely not 3 months old, I'll tell you that.
Yes, but I guess the question was, how old were you in dog years? Maybe we have to do a little math.
Right. Yeah, that's some math that I'm just not capable of doing at the moment.
Max Burt down on strikes after a pretty good changeup there from Kate. There's 2 away here in the bottom of the third with the Senators leading at 1-0. Top of the order for the Thunder, here's Estevan Florial. And the next offering is in there for a strike. Well, Florial, as we have known for those that follow the Yankees minor league system, is a really impressive position player and seen as a prospect of sorts. Gosuke, what have you seen from Estevan Florial in the time that you've crossed paths with him?
I don't think I've actually played with him many games, but whenever we play against each other in spring training, his hands are just unbelievable, very strong. His BP is incredible. He just hits the ball with power and authority to all parts of the field, and that's just one of the many tools that he has, along with his arm, his speed, his defense. So he's going to be a great player one day.
Count 2 balls and a strike. And the delivery is swung on and fouled away for strike 2. Man at first with 2 away. And the next pitch is swung on and lifted to left field. It's a routine play for the left fielder Yadiel Hernandez, and the Thunder are retired in the bottom of the third inning. 1-0 Senators in the lead as Thursday Night Thunder continues next, presented by Arm & Hammer. Top half of the fourth inning, Davy Garcia back to the mound. Gosuke Katoh still with us here on Thursday Night Thunder. Fastball in there for a strike to Taylor Gushu. Catcher with some excellent facial hair, Gosuke. Have you started to grow some facial hair now that you're a Miami Marlin instead of a New York Yankee?
You know what? No, I haven't. And I don't think I could anyway, so it doesn't really matter. A lot of the guys just say that I was born a Yankee because I just can't grow facial hair, and I don't even ever shave. So, a lot of these guys have to shave all the time, but I don't.
Fascinating. A nasty hook there from Garcia to get Gushu on strikes, and there's 1 away. Have you ever tried to grow facial hair in your life, even in the offseason when you were a Yankee minor leaguer?
So last year, when I was with the Rail Riders in Scranton, we had playoff stashes, and I had a little stubble here and there. but it wasn't much.
Swing and a drive towards shallow center field. Estevan Florial lining it up. He makes the catch, and they're 2 away here in the top half of the 4th inning. Now, you sort of bring a unique perspective, even though you only had a short amount of time as a member of the Marlins organization. What were some differences that you noticed in the way spring training was run between what you experienced with the Yankees and what you experienced this year with the Marlins?
Honestly, there wasn't much of a difference because I think a lot of you guys know, but Derek Jeter is the owner of the Marlins, and then Gary Dembo, the farm director, is there, along with 22 former Yankee coaches. So it wasn't much. It wasn't that big of a difference to me.
A base hit by Jeremy De La Rosa with 2 out, and I'm curious to know, 22 former Yankee coaches are there? Is that really? Seems like a lot.
Yes, it's a lot. And then we just talked about Jeff Hendricks. He's the outfield coordinator, outfield and base running coordinator, and he's over there. A lot of former players are over there too. So it's a good thing we have going on over there, and it's a fun thing to be a part of.
That is fascinating. I mean, I think we all sort of expected some Yankees to go to the Marlins when that occurred, as Rod Penn pokes one to deep right field. That one is off the wall, and this is trouble for the Thunder. De La Rosa around third. He will score, and the Senators lead it 2-0 here in the 4th on Rod Penn's RBI double.
Now, as we watch this replay right here, I just want to point out Trey Ambergay in right field with the poor effort. He just pulls up halfway and just lets Florial get the ball. It's not an ideal situation out there in right field.
Here's the top of the order, and center fielder Roger Duffy takes a strike. Garcia trying to limit this to just 1 run across here in the 4th inning. Delivers home, and the delivery's inside for ball 1. Boy, such a nice night, and you see what appears to be a hotel in right field, and that's reminiscent of an Eastern League setting in New Hampshire with the hotel in left center field.
Yep, that's true. It's a nice hotel, and I saw a lot of homers hit into that deck out there in left field in those windows. A lot of them by Vlad Guerrero Jr. In batting practice.
1-2 pitch is fouled away by Duffy. I mean, that is something that I think will stick with me for the rest of my life, watching batting practice with Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Kevin Biggio. I mean, there was some tremendous power in that lineup for the 2018 Eastern League champion Fisher Cats.
Right, yeah, and then all of them are with the big leagues right now, and they've got a good team over there, and they're looking to run the AL East here soon.
Full count with 2 away. And Garcia delivers. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Davy Garcia comes back, gets another strikeout, but Rod Penn's RBI double has put the Senators ahead 2-0. The middle of the 4th inning here on Thursday Night Thunder. On we go to the bottom of the 4th inning here on Thursday Night Thunder. The Harrisburg Senators with a 2-0 lead here on opening night, presented by Arm & Hammer. Hoyt Park leading off the frame for Trenton takes ball 1 from Tim Cate. We're visiting with Gosuke Katoh, longtime member of the Yankees minor league system, now a member of the Miami Marlins. The pitch is taken just outside for ball 2. And, Gosuke, you've had the chance to play at all 3 levels of the Yankees minor league system. I'm curious about, some of the favorite road stadiums that you've played in your minor league career.
I think my favorite has to be, actually there's a lot of really good stadiums in minor league baseball, but the one that really stands out is Hartford. They have a really good setup over there. You'll just never believe that it's a AA stadium for the Rockies. It's brand new, and they have a really good atmosphere over there. It's always fun to play over there.
A 2-2 pitch to Hoy Park is swung on and lifted to left field. Making the move toward the line is Yadiel Hernandez, and he brings it in for the first out. What about a favorite stadium, maybe at the AAA level?
Favorite stadium in AAA? I know we're talking about road stadiums, but the home clubhouse in Scranton is unbelievable. The home stadium's absolutely gorgeous. Good atmosphere over there as well, and a really good playing surface too, which is very, very key for an infielder like me.
Chris Gittens at the plate for the Thunder. Here's a 1-1 pitch to him, and that's in there at the top of the zone for a called strike 2. Chris Gittens coming off a tremendous season. The Eastern League's most valuable player last year, hit 23 home runs, career-high 77 runs batted in. And a 1-2 pitch is taken outside and low for ball 2.
Hey, John, I wonder what he's doing here, repeating the Eastern League for the third year in a row after being the MVP.
Gittens cranks one deep left field, high and gone. A Hyundai home run for Chris Gittens. And the Thunder are on the board, their first run here in 2020.
Wow, that was a very, very rare pull side homer from Chris Gittens. He usually likes to go right center, but you know, this almost feels fake to me. It's like it's a video game. It's unbelievable that he just pulled a homer.
Yeah, that is certainly the case, but ooh, is that a sweet swing.
That's a sweet swing, and those are some sweet evos that he got on, and the shin guard and the bat flip right there, as you see him round the bases, exit velo of 99.4 miles per hour. Definitely not his best, but it'll do.
Breaking ball is in there for a strike to Brandon Wagner, and you know, I think exit velocity is something that a lot of fans have now become sort of used to, and 99 miles an hour off the bat. That's terrific, but a little bit lower than what we're used to from Chris Gittens.
Right. I mean, I think Chris Gittens just lights up the exit velo like no other. And I think his best so far is like 118, and he hit this back like in 2015. So it's always scary playing the infield when you're facing him.
Brandon Wagner is the batter for the Thunder. It's behind the count at 1-2 strikes as the Thunder try to rally back here on opening night. The left-hander, Kate, kicks and fires home. Wagner swings, and it's a hard grounder to first. Up with it, KJ Harrison, and there are 2 away. Good solid contact from Wagner, but nothing to show for it. Here's Ben Ruda. Now, Ben Ruda is a local product, local to Mercer County, New Jersey. Actually played a few games at Arm & Hammer Park when he was in high school at West Windsor Plainsboro South. As the 1-0 offering is swung on and slashed to left field, that's down for a base hit. And raking Ben Ruda keeps it rolling with a single.
I've seen that hit many, many times through that 5.5 hole. He just wears it out. But every now and then he'll pull one, so you better watch out as well.
Here's Francisco Diaz catching for the Thunder here on opening day, and he takes the offering outside for ball 1.
Really like to see Ruda run the bases here, maybe steal a bag with that 88 speed against this lefty.
Ruda, one of the better base runners that Trenton has had over the last few years. A 1-0 pitch is taken low for ball 2. Opening night here at Arm & Hammer Park. Check on Ruda. Got to be aware of him, and he's back safely. Right on the point goes Kay. Another check on Ruda. Boy, how many? That really shows a respect for the speed that Ben Ruda has when you check twice in a row like that.
Yeah, exactly. You pick twice, you're never picking 3 times, though.
And there he goes, and Ruda is in safely at second with a stolen base.
Look at that jump, and he's got that acceleration mid-base path and just slides headfirst into second. That is just unbelievable speed out of Ruda.
Here's a 3-0 pitch, and that's in there for a strike. Well, Ben Ruda with that dirty uniform, looking like a good contender for the OxyClean Dirtiest Uniform Award, as Diaz swings to the next offering, and the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ben Ruda seemingly always a player that has his uniform dirty. As Diaz takes outside, and the Thunder have 2 base runners with 2 away here in the 4th. It's becoming a bit of a long inning here for the left-hander Tim Cate. He's going to face Trey Ambergy now. And the delivery home is a pitch swung on and missed. Boy, good breaking ball.
It's really interesting to see Trey back here in Trenton this year after hitting .274 with 22 homers last year in AAA. Looks like that gets you demoted in the Yankees organization.
Well, that's just sort of how the roster shakes out sometimes, Gosuke. And an 0-2 pitch is swung on and lifted shallow right center, and the second baseman there to make the catch, Rod Penn. And that'll do it for the Thunder, but a long solo home run by Chris Gittens has put Trenton on the board. 4 innings in the books here on Thursday Night Thunder. We'll be right back. Thursday Night Thunder continues. It's the 5th inning as Davy Garcia continues to work for the Thunder. Miracle League of Mercer County has been a long-time friend of the Trenton Thunder, and their executive director, Dan Sczweck's with us today. Dan, I guess let's start with what is the Miracle League of Mercer County, and how did you get involved with it?
The Miracle League of Mercer County, and thank you, John, for having us on today. The Miracle League of Mercer County is a non-profit organization that's dedicated to providing individuals, kids, and adults with special needs the opportunity to play baseball. We're going into our 15th year of operation now, and we run programming now throughout the season, giving kids a chance to participate in the game that we all love and like to play. We're sitting here watching today.
Yasel Antuna is the batter for Harrisburg, and he is down on strikes. Yet another strikeout for Davy Garcia. Excellent start for Garcia so far, the 2 runs early on, but really another good fastball there on the hands of the left-hand hitter. And, you know, Dan, back to our conversation, I mean, you know, in my time with the Thunder, it seems like the Miracle League has just grown. And, you know, I've been involved since 2014. When did you first get involved, and sort of what pushed you to be involved?
I got involved in the summer of 2014. I was named the 2nd executive director for the league. And at the time, we were a league of we had 6 teams and approximately 60 individuals, kids playing with us. We're now expanding. We're a 10-team league with over 100 kids playing. It's absolutely fantastic.
Drew Mendoza, the batter, the count now 2 balls and 1 strike against him. So what sort of inspired the creation of the Miracle League?
Miracle League is actually a national organization. It began in 1999 down in Conyers, Georgia. It started out of necessity. It started with a father and his daughter who wanted the opportunity for her to play baseball, and she would not have had an opportunity otherwise if it wasn't for his efforts in fundraising to create a fully barrier-free field for individuals of all abilities. And once that league took off down in Georgia and it was successful, they started duplicating the process all around, and the Miracle League was the first one in the Northeast, north of the Mason-Dixon line. And here we are 15 years later with well over 300 Miracle Leagues all across the country and in Canada and Puerto Rico.
KJ Harrison is the batter after another strikeout from Davy Garcia. 2 away here in the 5th inning. The Senators leading on opening day by a score of 2-1. Pitch is swung on and fouled away, the count 0-2. So I would say that Tommy Smith has become a significant member of the Trenton Thunder family, and we can pick up on that thought when we come back as Davy Garcia strikes out the side in the top of the 5th inning. 2-1, Senators in the lead. Thursday Night Thunder continues next. Bottom half of the 5th inning on Thursday Night Thunder. First offering is fouled away by Ben Ruda, and we're visiting with Dan Sczweck of the Miracle League of Mercer County. And, I think when I certainly think of the Miracle League, I think of Tommy Smith and just sort of how he's become a member of the Trenton Thunder family. How did that come to be?
Well, Tommy he's now a former member of the Miracle League. He was with us at the inception, and his father, Tom, is a member of our board of directors. I know he's a loyal season ticket holder with you guys as well. And I know just over time and communicating, working with Jeff Hurley and giving him the opportunity to be a bat boy first on a part-time experience, 1 inning, 1 game a week here. It was something that he obviously enjoyed, did an excellent job with, and became quickly a fan favorite. And to see where he is now as a full-time bat boy for your organization is just the coolest. The experiences he gets and some of the notoriety that's come with it. It's really awesome.
Yeah, and I think, the most rewarding part for me is that the way that Thunder players and coaches have become so close with Tommy over the years.
Yeah, just to see how it's expanded and going beyond the Thunder. His experience of being able to meet Tim Tebow and to see these stories that are popping up not just on a local level but on a national media level too. It's so cool and so deserving, and it's great when you see the result and when you give everybody an opportunity.
Count is 3 balls and 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Estevan Florial at the plate for the Thunder. Left-hander Tim Cate continues to work, and his 3-1 offering to Florial is swung on and grounded foul. Loading the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. The next offering home is swung on and missed for strike 3. Well, excellent pitching here in the 5th inning, Dan. Where can fans find more information about the Miracle League and get involved if they're interested?
They can visit our website. They can go to miracleleaguemercer.org, or they can shoot me an email at miracleleaguemercer@gmail.com.
And we look forward to hosting Miracle League athletes throughout the 2020 season and beyond. Dan, thanks for taking some time with us today.
Sean, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Thursday Night Thunder continues next. Thursday Night Thunder continues. It's the top half of the 6th inning. After a great visit with Dan Sczweck of the Miracle League of Mercer County, left-hander James Reeves joins Thursday Night Thunder. It is 2-1 Harrisburg Senators. And, well, James, I guess we'll start here. What is the best ballpark in the Eastern League that you've pitched in?
Oh, best ballpark in the Eastern League. That's tough. The city of Portland is awesome, and I kind of like the old style ballpark they have there in Portland. But I haven't had a ton of luck pitching there. But I enjoy my time in Portland a lot.
Big seafood guy. Didn't have you for that.
Yeah, big lobster roll guy, and really enjoy Portland post game.
Taylor Gushu is the batter for the Harrisburg Senators. He's ahead in the count against Davey Garcia, who continues to work here in the 6th inning. That fastball just misses inside, and it's a leadoff walk for the Senators, and that will certainly make things a little uneasy for that Thunder coaching staff.
Oh yeah, it looks like Davey's getting a little upset with himself with the leadoff walk, but really going deep in the ball game to start out, which is pretty impressive on opening night.
Garcia from the stretch. His offering is high for ball 1. Now, over the years, James, I imagine you've pitched in a lot of different ballparks, and I can understand why Portland is a favorite for you in the Eastern League. It's a personal favorite of mine to visit as well, as we have a swing and a bouncer toward the middle. Holder's got it. Flips to Park. It's a double play.
Oh, one of the smoothest infielders I've ever played with right there, coming in and getting it.
I will say that in my experience, James, Kyle Holder is as good as it gets at shortstop.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. He's he just does it all well. Has really good feet, really good arm. It's pretty rare when you see him boot one. It doesn't happen very often. He always makes those special plays. So he's definitely a fun guy to play with.
first pitch changeup in there for a strike, and that really is the pitcher's best friend, particularly at this stage of the game. When you're working into the upper 80s with that pitch count, double play balls can be huge.
Oh, no doubt. It can definitely change an outing, and really propel you forward. Deeper into the ball game than you would have been going. And looks like Davey's getting a lot of contact on the ground right now in this inning.
Excellent defensive work from Max Burt as Davey Garcia works around the leadoff walk and faces the minimum in the sixth. Thursday Night Thunder continues next. Left-hander Tim Cate on the mound for the Senators, and first pitch swinging is Hoy Park. Comes up empty. It's the bottom of the sixth inning. Senators leading the Thunder 2-1 here on opening night here at Hammer Park. Good opportunity for offense for the Thunder here in the sixth inning, the middle of the order, as Park takes the next offering over the inside corner for a called strike two. Now, James, you've been a pitcher for a long time, but what was James Reeves, the hitter, like back in the day?
Oh man, I only had 8 at-bats all of high school, so I've been kind of strictly a pitcher for a while, but I was 3 for 8, but I was 3 for 8 with five punch-outs, so it was either kind of all or nothing for me as a hitter, but I'm very accepting of my role now and not ever hopefully getting in the batter's box again with any meaning, so...
Were all 3 hits home runs?
No, I did have I had a single, a double, and a triple. So I was a home run away from my career cycle. So just missed out on that feat, I guess.
Speaking of home runs, here's Chris Gittens at the plate. The Eastern League's most valuable player last year, hit 23 home runs, setting a new career high. A couple more in the postseason for 25 total. And he swings at this one and rockets it foul down the third base line. Gittens with some of the most tremendous raw power that you'll see. Never watched this guy take batting practice. The ball never seems to land in the field of play.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. He really drives the ball backside better than anybody I think I've ever seen. Really has some juice to the opposite fields.
Gittens trying to go to the opposite field, but not quite deep enough. He pops out to the first baseman, and they're 2 away. Brandon Wagner is next. Another solid left-hand hitter for the Thunder. He takes a fastball strike at the top of the zone. So James, you've been pitching for such a long time. I imagine that this spring training must have been a little bit of a strange one for you, where you get started with spring training, everything feels normal, and then life sort of comes to a stop a couple weeks ago. How did you spend your time when you were quarantined?
Yeah, just trying to stay active, but yeah, like you said, it's just an interesting time we're going through for sure, and I guess everybody's feeling the effects of this virus going around and kind of shutting everything down, but just doing your best to stay active and keep the arm going. So when the season does get kicked off this year, we'll be ready to go.
Did you have any hand in Max Burt's at-home training videos?
No, I had no hand in that. But yeah, I watched a bunch of them, and he seemed to kind of entertain everybody with those. But I thought those were pretty special, and they were definitely funny to follow along with. And, Max Bird's got such a great personality and everything. So I really enjoyed what he put together there during the quarantine.
After the base hit by Brandon Wagner, it's the end of the road for Tim Cate, the starter. And a new right-hander on for the Harrisburg Senators to face Ben Ruda, who swings at the first pitch and grounds it to short. And that'll do it for the Thunder here in the sixth inning. Thursday Night Thunder continues after this. Top half of the seventh inning means a fresh arm for the Thunder. Typically a starter, working out of the bullpen here on opening night, it is Miguel Yajure, a top prospect in the Yankees minor league system. And the right-hander takes over with the Senators leading it 2-1. Now, James, we were talking about, some of the ways you tried to stay sharp and pass the time during quarantine in Tampa. If you were to start creating some informational videos in the same vein as Max Burt, what would be some skills that you would like to share with everyone?
Oh, man. I don't think I'm just quite as athletic as Max Burt and have quite the variety of skill set that he shows off in his videos. But I really kept the house clean during the quarantine, so I'd probably do kind of like a miniature home ec class maybe, via Instagram Live or whatever, and show everybody how to disinfect the playing surfaces that they're living in during the day.
Here's a double by the Senators. A great effort by Ben Ruda to try to track that down in the alley in left center field, but just not able to come up with it. So Senators with a chance to add to the lead here in the top half of the 7th inning. A couple of arms up in that Thunder bullpen. David Sosby, Caleb Ort. We saw Trevor Lane was up briefly. And Yahure's offering is upstairs for ball one. In these days where, you can show us how to keep every surface clean in the house, James, I'm curious, what songs are you singing to yourself when you're washing your hands?
Oh, man, yeah, I've seen a bunch of those. I saw the Take Me Out to the Ballgame one, so in the spirit of opening day, was kind of getting after that one. Today, every time I'm washing my hands, trying to really create that friction in those suds for at least 20 seconds and really hitting, every part of the thumb and the fingernail and all sorts of things. But yeah, just been mixing and matching, going with some country jams, also some Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. That's been really taken off on TikTok. So I've really been enjoying that one.
Big swing and a miss as Yahure shows off that big curveball to get back into the count at 2-2 And the pitch is taken high for ball 3. I mean, this is sort of a big spot in the games here, James. Got to see what Miguel Yahure has to try to keep the Senators off the board, and he gets a swing and a miss for the first out.
Oh, nice. Really attacked him up in the zone with that one. Kind of blew his doors off 3-2. Was just really aggressive there in the zone. Really special arm coming out of Miguel Yahure right there, and with a good high heater.
And he drops in that good curveball in for a strike. I will say that, Pitching Ninja should probably have some video here to, make sure he has the right Miguel Yahure, because this looks like the guy that we saw in Trenton last year.
Oh, yeah, unbelievable command guy, really mixes his pitches well, and just a really, real bulldog competitor out there on the mound, and kind of flips the switch when he gets in game mode. He's such a carefree, good dude off the field, but once he gets up on that mound, he's a real bulldog competitor out there.
It's interesting that you describe Miguel Yahure like that, James, because, I think that that's actually sort of an apt description for you, as we have a fly ball here to shallow center field, and it's caught by the shortstop Holder for out number 2.
Holder kind of slagged that one right there. Yeah, I mean, you try to, I like to have a good time and everything, but at the end of the day, when it's time to, get out there on the mound, and all you're really trying to do is compete and beat the guy in front of you. So you do kind of have to flip that switch and have that alter ego, I guess, when you're out there on the mound.
Next offering from Yahure is lifted foul off to the third base side.
Really got it in on the hands right there.
And he got him. Good fastball up and in for strike 3.
And 0-2 just went right after him with that heater. Unbelievable.
Time now for the 7th inning scratch presented by the New Jersey Lottery, as well as Take Me Out to the Ballgame and God Bless America.
The Armstrong and FDR Middle School combined choirs perform God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Section 104, row H, are getting New Jersey Lottery loose change tickets. Good luck and start scratching.
With Walnut Street Elementary School to Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. So please root, root, root for the Thunder. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Bottom of the 7th inning as Thursday Night Thunder continues. The offering is up high, and the count is 1-0 as the Thunder look to rally back here on opening night, presented by Arm & Hammer. James Reeves still on with us here on Thursday Night Thunder. And the right-hander's delivery home is taken inside. And a good count here to start to open up this inning at 2-0. It's a good opportunity for the Thunder to try to get that offense going. You know, Thunder had quite a few furious rallies at the end of games last year. You know, James, when you think back to that 2019 season, are there any individual games that jump into your memory?
Yeah, there was a game early on in Portland. I can't remember how we were down by quite a few many runs, and it was cold and nasty earlier in the season, and really came back and ended up winning that game, and I think that really set the tone and who we were going to be as a team that year.
Excellent swing from Francisco Diaz, a double here in the 7th inning.
Big Frankie coming through, getting the party started here, and see if we can come back and pull this one off.
You know, one of those individual games that sticks with me, James, was, the night before Mother's Day, where we went into 12 innings, and Bobby Dahlbeck had a 3-homer game for the Sea Dogs, and, the Sea Dogs rallied for 4 runs in the top half of the 12th, and then, Thunder rallied right back all the way through. Zach Zahner finishing it off with a 2-run triple to walk it off. I mean, that seemed like one of those games that, like you were saying, sort of set the tone for who the team was all season.
Oh, absolutely. That was a dogfight slugfest of a game, and it was just really cool to see. I mean, and then it kind of translated over into the playoffs in the championship series when Hoy ends up stealing home. We're having a hard time scratching a couple runs together and really taking advantage of that situation and getting us on the board. So you really saw it throughout the entire season, just the ability to scratch wins and put games together.
Well, good opportunity here for Trey Ambergy with the tying run on second and nobody out here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. The pitch home, a swing and a miss. Boy, 3-1 curveball. Don't see that out every day.
And yeah, you really painted that one nice. Got a really good hitter at the plate, though, so you have to be really aggressive with your breaking stuff to keep him off balance.
Ambergy pops it up behind home plate, and the catcher Gushu makes the catch for out number 1. Here's Kyle Holder, who had his share of clutch hits throughout the 2019 campaign in Trenton. He swings at the first offering, lines it into the alley in right center field. That ball is off the wall.
Picked up by the center fielder. Diaz is in to score. Holder is heading for third, and he is in there safely. A game-tying RBI triple from Kyle Holder.
Big-time swing by Kyle right there, showing off the speed, too, getting all the way to third on that.
Well, Holder had a really clutch swing in the first round of the playoffs last year against Reading in Game 2, a solo home run to lead off the top of the 10th inning. I mean, he's seemingly playing with that clutch gene all the time.
Oh, yeah, he's just a gamer, such a good athlete, and plays with a lot of confidence. So it's always just a matter of time, you know, when he's going to step up in that big moment and really put a good swing on something.
This game tied at 2 here in the 7th inning. Here is Max Burt, who's been giving us all kinds of lessons during the quarantine. You can find those on Twitter and Instagram. The pitch home. Swung on and grounded toward the middle. It sneaks through, a base hit, and the Thunder have the lead.
Nice approach right there by Max, just doing what he could with it and you know, putting it in play and seeing what happened right there, and ends up scoring Kyle.
Yeah, Max is one of those underrated guys, you know, a late round draft from a small school in the Northeast, and you know, a guy that I think is starting to take some people by surprise. As the Senators will go to the bullpen, here is Ryan Brindley.
Yeah, Max is one of those guys that can just do anything that you ask of him. Really, I mean, moved them all around the diamond, and you know, he played at multiple levels last year, and you know, just the ability for him to step in and day out and do different things to help the team be successful is, you know, a really good characteristic of his. Really good strength.
Next offering is in there for a strike. This is Estevan Florial at the plate, making his official regular season AA debut. An 0-2 pitch to him is taken just low for ball 1. Now, Florial is a guy that I imagine, James, that you've maybe faced occasionally in some intra-squad games and certainly seen play and been a teammate of down in Tampa. What kind of skills does he bring to the table?
Oh, he's just got a little bit of everything. I mean, he runs extremely well. You know, has a great arm, really good pop at the plate. He's got a lot of raw power, and just a really good teammate all around. So he's definitely an exciting player to watch, because you just never know when it's you know, when you're going to see those big time moments that a player with his type of skills you know, has the ability to put together.
Thunder in the lead, 3-2, as the pitch is taken inside after Florial flies out to deep left field. Hoyt Park, the batter now. Hoy, an everyday guy for the Thunder last season, playing mostly at second base. Takes the next offering high to count 2 balls and no strikes. You see the activity in the Harrisburg bullpen.
Oh yeah, bad day to be a Senator right now. Getting those guys moving out there.
And a 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike. And, you know, I guess the question for you, James, is there ever a good day to be a Senator?
I don't know if there ever is, you know, whether it's on the diamond or in D.C. But yeah, I mean, the Thunder right now are starting to put it together late in this game and hopefully scratch a couple more runs across here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, Thunder.
Lurking on deck. I mean, that's a scary sight to see.
Yeah, you don't want to let the Thunder get hot.
No, absolutely not.
A 3-1 pitch.
Thunders are hot. Thunders are rolling. You never know what's going to happen.
Count is full as Park continues to battle. Runner will get started from first base, and the delivery is swung on and lifted to center field. Sending him back deep. He's at the track and makes the catch. Well, the Thunder take the lead on the RBI single by Max Burt. They tie the game on an RBI triple by Kyle Holder. 7 innings in the books here on Thursday Night Thunder. We'll be right back. Thursday Night Thunder continues. Trenton in the lead over the Harrisburg Senators. Right-hander Braden Bristow is on the mound for Trenton. After a couple innings and a great visit with James Reeves, we now visit with the Eastern League's
postseason most valuable player. Captain Kellin Deglan joins us here for the final couple innings here on Thursday Night Thunder. First offering from Bristow is in there for a strike. And Kellin, I guess it's great to finally look at Thunder baseball uniforms again. What were some of your biggest memories from last season?
Yeah, it is a good sight seeing the Thunder uniform again. Last year we had a great team, great staff. We just had a really good time. We had fun in the clubhouse, fun on the field, and we won a lot of ball games. So, you know, it was a good season. Good to come out with the championship last year.
We saw right-handers Caleb Ort and Brooks Kriske up in the Thunder bullpen as Bristow deals a fastball for strike two. And, you know, Kellin, I think you sort of serve, you know, one of the most interesting positions on the field in that you're involved with every play as a catcher. You know, so Braden Bristow's on the mound right now. What is his repertoire like in real life?
Yeah, he's going to come after you. He throws a lot of strikes. He's got a really good cutter. He can throw in any count. He can spot up his fastball well. Got a good curveball as well, and he'll touch up on his changeup. So, you know, he's going to mix everything in there. Throw strikes just like that. Got that first out, which is good to see. And hopefully he can get these next two.
Yeah, Bristow certainly a guy who was, you know, a little bit back and forth with Trenton last year. And, you know, I think, you know, there was probably a little bit of a question mark as to where your season would start last year. And, you know, by the time May 1st rolled around, so we have a line drive into the left field's corner here, fielded by Ben Ruda. It'll be a one-out double for the Senators. You know, you joined the Thunder on May 1st and spent pretty much the entire season there. It's sort of, you know, what was your spring training like last year? What were some of your expectations for last season?
Spring training was good. Started in big league camp. It was a great experience up there. Went down to minor league camp and, you know, kept playing down there, working hard. We had a lot of catchers last year. We had Frankie Diaz, who's catching right now. Jorge Saez, who both started in AA. I started in AAA on the IL. And then Frankie went down with the shoulder injury. So when that happened, they sent me down to Trenton. And then I stayed there the rest of the year. But, yeah, we had a lot of good catchers last year. And, you know, it's tough to see Frankie go down. And then I just went down there and just tried to continue what he was doing with the staff in Trenton and just enjoyed, you know, being the other catcher with Jorge Saez down there.
Count is 2-1 strike with a man on second, the tying run for the Senators. Bristow's delivery is fouled away to get back into the count at 2 strikes. You know, I think catching is probably one of the hardest jobs that a baseball player can have. You know, you have to focus on your swing at the plate, but you also have to know the personalities and the individual players, as the Senators have now tied the game here on an infield single at 3-3. You know, there was so much information that you as a catcher have to know like the back of your hand. And I'm sort of curious that, you know, when did you sort of realize that that was such a big part of being a catcher?
Yeah, I feel like I realized that you know, at a younger age, probably before I got into pro ball. But when I got into pro ball, you know, I took more ownership on that. We had a good pitching coach last year, and Tim Norton. He did a good job with the pitcher-catcher meetings. So we had a good game plan going in, and our analytics department did a really good job with the scouting reports on our wristbands. So I use the analytics. I use what I see with the hitter and what our pitching coach sees in his scouting. And then I use it with the pitcher's stuff, you know, try to go after them with the best stuff and try to exploit the hitter's weaknesses.
2 out in the inning after a fly ball to center field. This game tied at 3 here in the 8th inning. Thunder catcher Kellin Deglan is with us on Thursday Night Thunder as Bristow gets squeezed a little bit on the first offering here. And, you know, I think that is a topic that a lot of fans would be interested to know some more about, the wristbands and how analytics have been sort of layered into the game today. How much do you observe in terms of how different the game is now versus when you first broke into pro ball?
It's a lot different. When I broke in 10 years ago with the Rangers, we didn't have an analytics department or anything. Even my last year with the Rangers in 2016, we never had that. At least when I was in AA in Trenton, we never had it. The big league team may have. But the Yankees, they've invested a lot into that analytics, and it really helps pitch with the pitcher's strength, and we know the hitter's weaknesses a little bit for each hitter on their team. So it's a big asset for us.
Bottom half of the 8th inning now on Thursday Night Thunder. It's the meat of Trenton's order as Chris Gittens stands at the plate in a tie game. He swings at this offering and lifts it to center field, but this will be a routine play for the Senators center fielder, and there's one away. You know, at this juncture of the game, Kellin, as you sort of look into sort of a close game in the 8th inning, as Brandon Wagner steps in and takes the first offering low, I mean, does your approach at the plate as a hitter become any different when you're in a close game in the 8th inning versus any other at bat?
I think your focus maybe intensifies a little bit. You know, you want to be focused every single at bat, but it's a little different when, good swing by Wags right there.
Brandon Wagner has just put the Thunder in the lead. A solo home run here in the 8th inning.
That's big right there. It looks like we got Krisky in the pen, maybe Lane. It'd be good to give him that lead heading into the 9th.
Well, Brandon Wagner does have some big-time power, something that we got to see quite a bit of last year. And the Mercer County native putting the Thunder in front here on opening day.
Nice short swing right there. Get the ball in the air. It's good to see.
How about that exit velocity? 106?
Wow.
Tough to beat. Here's Ben Ruda. Takes a breaking ball strike. Now, Ben Ruda, probably a contender for our OxyClean Dirtiest Uniform Award in the game. I mean, look at that uniform.
Yeah, he plays the game hard, plays the game the right way. It's good to see right there.
Ben is always a tough out at the plate, and, you know, having seen him for, a little bit more than a month in 2018 and then the full season last year, I mean, he's just the kind of guy that I love to watch play baseball because he's always giving every ounce of energy that he has to the game.
Yeah, he really does. He's a good hitter, puts together good at bats, got a good eye up there, hits the ball hard, and he's gonna steal you some bags too. He's a really smart base runner.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The next offering to Ruda, swing and a miss for strike 3. And, you mentioned speed, and I think that is something that has changed over the course of, just the time that I've watched baseball. It seems like there's less of an emphasis on players to steal bases than there was when I was a kid. And, have you sort of observed that as a catcher when you're in pro ball? Is there are teams running less often than what you remember when you broke in 10 years ago?
Yeah, I do think that's the case. Some teams, like the Richmond Flying Squirrels, they like to run a lot, National League team. But teams like Harrisburg, last season, they didn't run that much. They focus on hitting, and I think for them, they were pretty big on OPS, which a lot of teams are nowadays, hitting for extra bases and walking. So, yeah, it's different now.
Well, the Thunder did get another 2-out base runner, but a pop-out by Trey Ambergy, and we head to the 9th here on Thursday Night Thunder. And now here is one of the top relievers in the Eastern League from a season ago, right-hander Brooks Krisky, and now a member of the Yankees' 40-man roster. He's going to face the bottom third of the Senators' batting order here in the 9th inning. And, well, Deglan, you had an opportunity to catch Brooks Krisky on a regular basis last season. What makes this guy special?
He's got swing and miss stuff. He's got a great fastball. He came up from Trenton, from Tampa, where he was mainly throwing fastballs and just dominating down there. Came up to Trenton, just dominating with his fastball as well, but he added a split finger which became a really good weapon for him. And he had his slider as well, which he threw a little bit more in Double-A than he did in High-A. So it was great to see. He was striking out a lot of guys, and
creating
there's a nice ground ball right there.
Just like that, as Hoy Park throws him out for the first out here in the 9th inning. And the first offering to Rod Penn is in there for a strike. I mean, Kriske and Daniel Alvarez at the back end together. In my years in Trenton, Kellin, since 2014, I really have a hard time finding a better 1-2 punch at the back end of a bullpen than those two guys, plus left-hander Trevor Lane, who was terrific last year.
Yeah, we had a really good bullpen last year. These guys came out, they gave us 2 innings most of the time, and then Alvy was more of a 1-inning closer guy for us. Nice slider right there.
Boy, this is some of the nasty from Brooks Kriske, huh?
Yeah, he's sharp. He's dialed in tonight, which is great to see. Giving Alvy the day off in the 9th tonight, and Brooks, he can step right in there. He can save your ball games.
So here's Roger Duffy, the last chance for Harrisburg to keep it alive. It's 4-3 here in the top of the 9th inning.
But yeah, you got Kriske down there, you got Alvy, you got Trevor Lane, and you can throw James Reeves in the 3rd inning or the 9th inning as well, and he's gonna give you good innings. So it's a lot of depth down there in that pen, and they were a big part of us getting the championship last season.
Ground ball to second. Hoy Park throws him out, and the Thunder are victorious on opening night. 4-3, a victory over the Harrisburg Senators. The home run by Brandon Wagner in the 8th inning is the difference as the Thunder open the 2020 campaign with a victory. Kellin, just, great work all across the board by the Thunder, picking up right where they left off last season.
Yeah, it's good to get that first one out of the way in front of the home fans. It's a first of many. Boys just got to keep playing like that throughout the year.
Thursday Night Thunder tonight is presented by Arm & Hammer. Our thanks to Joe Weil, Gosuke Katoh, Dan Sczweck of the Miracle League of Mercer County, James Reeves, and Kellin Deglan for joining us here tonight. And we'll see you guys next week for another edition of Thursday Night Thunder.